You know, I had only planned on uploading one video today, but I was so excited by the statue that I had to do another one. Now, the 1990 film live-action movie of the Ninja Turtles was not only a highly underrated Ninja Turtles film, but a highly underrated film just in general. It was very dark and brooding and had some very mature themes that I think went over the head of many kids and critics alike. It certainly wasn't really a kids' film, and the year that it came out, I had a life-altering event that really changed the trajectory of my life, and it just so happens that that movie was the last movie that I had seen before it happened. Now, I could have been cynical and let it carry over in the rest of my life, but I didn't, and I have some very fond memories about that movie that I saw before, life happened. These four turtles have always had a special place in my heart, and then when I read this graphic novel called The Last Ronin, it really invigorated my passion for them. If you haven't read this graphic novel already, you owe it to yourself to read it, and even if you're not a Ninja Turtles fan, it is still a fantastic read. I don't think anybody is not familiar with the names Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. I'm not going to give out too many detailed spoilers, of course, but the premise of this graphic novel is absolutely fascinating. It takes place years in the future in a dystopian New York City where the Foot Clan has essentially taken over, where one last surviving member of the family is on a quest for revenge to avenge his fallen brothers and his mentor. The story is beautifully told and really has everything: love and loss, revenge and justice, hope and rebirth, honor and commitment to family. It is definitely a great read, guys. Fortunately, because of the popularity of this graphic novel, we're starting to see some really interesting and some really cool merchandise with the main character. And I won't spoil who he is, but I have to say, I was very surprised, and yet at the same time, it made a whole lot of sense and made it that much more fascinating for this character's story arc, or at least the turtle story arc. So today we're going to be reviewing Diamond Gallery's version of The Last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle statue. Let's take a closer look. Now, Diamond Gallery has been fast approaching one of the more premier statue manufacturers. I'm really impressed with what they've been producing lately. Now, the head sculpt here is really fantastic. This is definitely a one-to-one what you see in the actual graphic novel. The head sculpt is really well done here, guys. Look at the cowl. It looks really great in terms of the overall color palette. The eyes are done fantastic, and you even have the scar, that X scar on the mouth of the actual turtle. The teeth are done very well, and I love the green that they used with the little imperfections. It's just so well done, guys. Now, the midsection and upper torso of this piece is really great, mostly in the textures and definitely in the color palette. Now, in terms of the textures, I love the brown padding. It looks like it's actual fabric. The shading is done very well, and it has a really nice wash. The batons are done very well, and I love the way the gauntlets came out. The black actually accentuates those brown pieces, and it's just done very well. He's very bulky looking. But the thing that is the focal point here is definitely in his goggles. The silver offset against the red lenses looks really great, and just look at the pouches and the little throwing knives that he has. I don't know what the actual nomenclature is, but everything is just done so well, and I actually love the art direction and the style because it looks like it's giving it forward motion and a lot of 3D. It's very dynamic, guys, here. Now, you can tell by the lower section that a lot of thought went into the overall engineering of this piece, and definitely in the way that they balance it. He is literally leaping off a piece of rock in this piece, and the effect is done so well. It looks like he's barely touching the base. The sculpt in the actual foot looks really great, the green looks amazing, and the bandages look very well sculpted as well. Just look at that, guys. It looks like it's leaping forward at you. I mean, this is just really well done, guys, especially for this price point. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Now, one of the other things that I like is definitely the armor sets. They're very modularized. You can see where you can strap them on. And one particular one that I like is that kind of pan-shaped armor, which is really cool and something that I noticed in the novel. I mean, overall, guys, it is a brilliant recreation here. And I really just love the way that this statue is just popping out at you. It's really well done, guys. Now, you must, and I mean absolutely must, mirror this piece because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on the reverse side, guys. Now, I'm just going to get straight to the weapons. You have Leonardo's katana, you have The staff from Donatello, I mean, just looks really cool, and I love the way that he has it strapped to his back. Lots of detail here, guys, and I even love the little hints of the color palettes. You have the sai on the reverse side as well, and the nunchucks, and then of course you have that awesome looking grapple that's just hanging off the side along with the rope, and of course the nunchucks. So guys, I mean, this is just a feast for the eyes. It's really spectacular what they did here in terms of the overall art direction and just the level of detail. Yes, there are some imperfections here, but I think they outweigh what they did here in terms of the overall style. And then of course you get a greater appreciation of just how he is leaping off the base. This is just spectacular, guys, and you have to mirror this piece. It is just really beautifully done, guys. Now the base is just really one big slab, and it's not very detailed, but that doesn't really matter because it's just simulating rock. And of course, I think the focal point for this base is really the obvious, and I don't want to talk about it because it's such a poignant part of the graphic novel, but here we have Casey's mask, and it is so well done here, guys. And again, I can't get into it, but man, is it so emotional to see this. And I think it's a nice detail that they put in the overall base, and it is a big footprint, but it's a big footprint, and I think it's there for a reason. Okay, look guys, this one is an easy one, and there's a reason that this one was an easy one. It is obviously and utterly a holy grail piece, and let me tell you why, okay? This thing sold out almost immediately, and I mean within record time, this statue sold out. In fact, it was so popular that particularly on the Big Bad Toy Store website, when they went to relist this item, it was initially retailed at $40 or something like that, and they actually had to reevaluate that and sell it for an additional $30, so it's actually more like $70 now. But this is so hard to find, guys. Even on eBay, you can barely find some that are you know, relatively priced, and those that are on eBay are going for a lot more. So that's what really makes this piece a holy grail piece, and there's a reason for it, because the graphic novel is just spectacular, guys. And let me tell you guys, at this point it's kind of a seller's market, because this one is so hard to find that if you can find one relatively priced, of course, but if you can find one, and if you're a fan of the graphic novel and you want to get this piece and definitely have it as a collector's item, then just jump on it, guys. I mean, you're gonna probably pay a premium, but if you really want this one, definitely get it. And in my opinion, it's totally worth it, guys. Now, of course, full disclosure, I use the vendor a lot, and this was pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store almost a year ago, and I was lucky because I locked it in at $40, so I feel like I actually ripped them off. So sorry about that, guys, but you know what? It is what it is, because they did re-up the price, but I got it for the original $40, so I'm very lucky in that regard. So thank you very much to Big Bad Toy Store for, you know, working with me and just keeping that original price. Really appreciate it, guys. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Diamond Gallery's version of The Last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle statue. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next Raudeza Reviews.